I'm going to start off by making a really bold statement. I'm going to show you how to make the absolute best ant bait poison packet in all the world. That's bold, I know. Okay, I did a little bit of research just to back up a little bit. There are supposedly around 19,000 different species of ants in the world. Obviously, we don't have them all right here. There are two main categories of ants, the ones that invade your kitchen, that I learned about. Ants that either look for sugar or ants that look for protein. And you can figure out which ants you've got by putting a little bit of honey or jelly, not the kind with artificial sweetener, but jelly on a little piece of aluminum foil or wax paper or something, and then also put a little bit of, say, scrambled eggs or a few bits of chicken on the packet, and put it near an ant trail and see which of those two baits the ants go to. So right here, I know I have, where I live, protein ants, because one day I was cutting up some chicken and I put the knife in the sink and forgot about it, came back an hour later, and the ants were just on that knife. They were swarming to it. Not too far away, maybe 2 or 3 miles away, where a friend used to live, they have sugar ants, because they put up one of those feeders for hummingbirds, and the ants were going to the feeder to get the sugar, the liquid, the sugar liquid. So they're both here, but I have protein ants, I know, because of the chicken. And it also explains why when I would buy those ant bait packet things, those plastic or metal things that they sell at the hardware store, the ants wouldn't even take notice. Evidently those were for sugar ants. So one more thing to show you. It works. This is a new packet. Okay, you can see the bait in there. This is an old packet. You can see how little bait there is left. The ants have been eating this stuff. This is what I put down about a week ago when I had ants around my sink, and boom, they were on it within an hour. 12 hours later, they were gone, and they haven't come back since. Okay, and I use plastic because I can heat seal these quickly to make little packets. If you have one of those jet going overhead, one of those vacuum sealer units that have a quick seal function, you can just put your plastic in there and just do a quick seal to seal the packets. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and therefore it's a good idea to save old Ziploc bags, you know, because you can use these rather than throw them in the trash. Use them to make ant bait packets. All right, let's get started. I have here a piece of chicken breast meat. This is actually from one of those Costco rotisserie chickens. And I got to tell you, the first task is to get this chopped up really, 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 really fine. You need to reduce it down to like sand, because the pieces have to be small enough for the ants to carry back to the colony where the poison in the bait eradicates the colony. So you're going to need a really, really sharp knife. And I don't know what else to tell you other than you might do something like this. I ordered these. These are those Vitamix cups. This comes to a package. So I'm going to open up these to show you what I've got. So I guess you could say this is also an unboxing video, because I haven't even opened this box yet. Okay. That looks like a lid, a second lid. So these look like they're, is this open? Get a pair of scissors out. So these look like they're lids for keeping the food inside of the bowl fresh. This does not come with the blades for chopping things. So there's one of the bowls. And there's the other bowl, which I'm not even going to open. I'm going to put that in with the... I can even screw those together. I'm just going to put this away as a spare. I'm going to use just this one, and I'm not going to put any of the ant poison in this because I want to be able to use this for something else. And then there's the usual paperwork that comes inside. Blah, blah, blah. This is always a packet of a little other things that you can use it for. So here's the base, the blade base that came with my, one of them that came with my Vitamix. And what I'm going to do is put the piece of chicken in there. I think I'm going to use a knife and just cut it into 2 pieces so it'll fit in there. Okay. I should probably also mention that I don't care for chicken white meat. I like the dark meat, but I use it for different things. Dry my hands here, then put my blade on top. Or in this case, maybe it's the bottom. And then there's an arrow here and an arrow there, so you have to kind of line them up or get them close in order to get the Vitamix to work. Now, when I say in order to get my Vitamix to work, it's because this model has a sensor in it. It can tell what size unit I'm putting on there. Okay, there's something in there, and it can read it. I think it's these gray bands right here. Turning it on. Going to go to number 1. And then I think I'm going to start by pulsing and see how easily I can chop that meat up. Not very well. Let's try number 2. The blade is spinning around, but there it goes. So I may need to shake that a few times. If I was using liquid, it would go a lot better. But again, the idea is to get it pulverized into as small bits as possible. And I got to say, before I continue, I watch the ants going to and from one of those bait packets, and you could see them with little bits of chicken in their pincers, carrying it back to their queen, proudly saying, "Look, madam, look what I'm bringing home for the colony, food." So I think I've got this broken up well enough. Appears to be. Oh, and I probably should mention, if you have one of those mini food processors, that would probably work equally well, if not better. I don't have one, so I'm using one of these. And the problem is my Vitamix jars and my food processor is just too big for doing such a small amount of chopping. That's why I got these jars. I'm using a plastic fork because I'm going to use this with the bait poison, and I can throw this into the recycling bin and through the paper plate, either into the recycling bin or the trash. And what I'm using for poison is this stuff here. Okay, this is called Hot Shot. It's roach killer powder. This has got boric acid in it, and boric acid is like death to bugs. They don't, well, they like it. They like the chicken, but they bring the boric acid back to the colony, and that kills the colony. So I'm going to take some boric acid powder. I'm going to spread this out a little bit and then sprinkle this on there. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then I'm going to start mixing this up. And if I feel as though I need to add some more, I'll add a little bit more. Okay, what I've got here is my little impulse heat sealer. This is an 8-inch. I bought this on Amazon. They're about $35, $40. I use it for a lot of things. And then I have some poly tubing here. This is 6 inches. That's why I bought an 8-inch. I can just simply lay the packet over the heating element. Press down. It'll click when it's sealed. And then using a pair of scissors, cut that off. Then I have my bait ready here. Open up my packet. Put some of the bait in there. That should be enough. Nice little amount there. And again, seal the packet on the other end. Now, why seal it all the way? First of all, why put it in plastic packets? Why not just put this out where the ants can get to it? Well, this will dry out very quickly. This won't. And what I do is I store these in the freezer. I have a little envelope that a Ziploc bag just for ant bait. And when I'm ready to use one of these, I take a paper punch, right? And I punch a couple of holes in it so the ants can get in there and find it. But meantime, I'm going to leave it sealed up so it doesn't dry out, and then put it in my Ziploc bag. And then when I make up a bunch of these, which I'm going to do right now, store it in the freezer. So there they are. I made up 8 packets. I can put this now in the freezer. It's going to be good in there for a year or longer because all I'm saving this for is ants, not food for me. And I got to tell you, I've even put these outside, but I put them under like an overturned heavy ceramic planter or pot so that the neighbor's pets, their cat, their dog, their goldfish, whatever, can't get to it. And I'll go back and check it later, and the packet is completely empty. So maybe more than one ant colony found it, and they took all the stuff away. And it really does work. I can put one of these down where I see ants. Boom, they're on it. They rush to it, start taking the bait away. Within 12 hours, the ants are gone. For sure within 24 hours. Then I can just throw the packet in the trash. I'm done with it. Use another one when I'm ready, when I need to. I haven't had ants now here for weeks, so I know that it works.